this is Friday 5 at 5 with the Denver Public Library. My name is Erin. I'm a librarian at DPL's Central Library, and in 15 minutes or less, we'll have you up to speed on 5 new titles out this month that we can't wait for you to read or listen to. Please note that new titles may not have been added to Overdrive until after the publication date, so if you don't see the titles you like in ebook or e-audio format, please check back. And you may notice our new look. Many thanks go to our colleague Maddie for putting her creative Canvas skills to work, and to our colleague Andrew for writing and recording intro music for us. In February, the Denver Public Library is recognizing Black History Today with events and programs ranging from textile art making to Black History Bingo. Check out our events calendar in the link below. Now for this month's titles. First up is The End of Drum Time by Hannah Pilvainen. In 1851, at a remote village in the Scandinavian tundra, a Lutheran minister known as Mad Lass tries in vain to convert the native Sami reindeer herders to his faith. But when one of the most respected herders has a dramatic awakening and dedicates his life to the church, his impetuous son, Ivar, is left to guard their diminishing herd alone. By chance, he meets Mad Lass's daughter, Willa, and their blossoming infatuation grows into something that ultimately crosses borders, of cultures, of beliefs, and of political divides, as Willa follows the herders on their arduous annual migration north to the sea. Author Hannah Pilvainen creates a picture of a time and a place with an appealing diversity of characterization. The outlander Swedes, the native Sami, each character crafted with a depth and complexity that brings them to life, from their religious beliefs to the cultural ties that knot them together and tear them apart. Gorgeously written and sweeping in scope, The End of Drum Time immerses readers in a world lit by the northern lights, steeped in age-old rituals, and guided by passions that transcend place and time. From publisher Henry Holt & Co. Looking for some read-alikes? The End of Drum Time is an epic love story in the vein of Cold Mountain and The Great Circle. I Saw Death Coming, A History of Terror and Survival in the War Against Reconstruction, is an essential volume for anyone seeking to understand more about the Reconstruction era and the disproportionate violence suffered by African Americans. This community also had to grapple with questions of how to leave home to avoid such dangers, mixed with social and communal ties of families, as well as their abilities to receive support. The diminishment of what survivors went through, or in many cases outright dismissal of their experiences, is something that still reverberates and continues to today, which is horrendous. Author Kidada E. Williams offers a breakthrough account of the much-debated Reconstruction period, transporting readers into the daily existence of formerly enslaved people building hope-filled new lives. Drawing on overlooked sources and bold new readings of the archives, Williams offers a revelatory and, in some cases, minute-by-minute record of nighttime raids and Ku Klux Klan strikes. And she deploys cutting-edge scholarship on trauma to consider how the effects of these attacks would linger for decades, indeed generations, to come. From Bloomsbury Publishing. For more on this topic, try River Sing Me Home by Eleanor Shearer, a Winter of Reading book pick, which depicts the experience of a formerly enslaved woman in search of her children during this period. And for more research, pick up The Failed Promise, Reconstruction, Frederick Douglass, and the Impeachment of Andrew Johnson by Robert S. Levine. Colorado resident Shelley Reed sets her graceful debut novel Go as a River in the small community of Iola, a town along the Gunnison River in the western part of the state of Colorado. Iola, readers learn in the first pages, no longer exists. It was flooded when the Gunnison was dammed to create the Blue Mesa Reservoir. But in 1948, when Reed's tale begins, Iola is the home of 17-year-old Victoria Nash, who keeps house for her father, a peach farmer, an embittered uncle who uses a wheelchair because of war injuries, and her angry, vengeful brother. Her mother, aunt, and a beloved cousin were killed in an auto accident when Tori was 12, leaving each family member bereft, and Tori resigned to the burden of caretaking. One cool autumn morning, she heads into her village pulling a rickety wagon filled with late season peaches. As she nears an intersection, a stranger in town stops to ask her the way. She makes the decision to walk with him. Go as a river, he tells her as they part ways. So begins a mesmerizing story of split-second decisions and considered acts that make up one woman's tumultuous life, as Tori begins to absorb and follow his words. Gathering all the pieces of her small and extraordinary existence, spinning through the eddies of desire, heartbreak, and betrayal, she will arrive at a single rocky decision that will change her life forever. From publisher Spiegel and Grau. Looking for something similar to read? Larry McMurtry's Sin Killer and The Four Winds by Kristen Hanna spin similar tales of struggle and survival in the American West. Why do you have such a hard time being focused? Why do you get distracted so easily and self-interrupt? And what can you do to reclaim your attention and achieve balance and harmony in your digital life? Research scientist Gloria Mark began investigating how technology affects human attention when offices were first getting computers. Over the last 30 years, she has tracked changes in our attention spans and stress levels, and in the fundamental way our brains process information. In her book, Attention Span, a groundbreaking way to restore balance, happiness, and productivity, Mark demonstrates that much of what we think we know about attention is wrong, and explores the current crisis of focus and productivity that is so deeply entwined with rising rates of anxiety and depression. Debunking the common myths around attention and digital technology, the author helps readers understand their own natural rhythms between deep focus and less attentive states, and build a toolkit for becoming both happier and more productive in the long term. For anyone struggling with the myriad distractions of the digital age, this is an unmissable opportunity to reclaim your attention and find balance and harmony. From publisher Hanover Square Press. Looking for more guidance? Check out My Plastic Brain, One Woman's Year-Long Journey to Discover If Science Can Improve Her Mind by Caroline Williams. Or work on your meditation practice with Thich Nhat Hanh's How to Focus. Annalee Newt's new novel, The Terraformers, examines the dark side of uplifting animals to a state of self-awareness and asks whose intelligence is being used as the template. A diverse array of characters, hominids, animals, and objects that in 2023 are still considered inanimate, such as doors and trains, are people in this multi-generational story about a corporation terraforming their privately held planet, Sask-E, and their workers, which the corporation owns as part of their proprietary ecosystem development kit, who want to turn Sask-E into a public, democratically governed territory. The plot tracks the nitty-gritty of building complex things, environments, relationships, governments, as Sask-E evolves over thousands of years into a pseudo-replica of Pleistocene Earth. Newt's heroes are members of the Environmental Rescue Team, an interplanetary force of first responders and environmental engineers who keep ecosystems in balance and stage disaster rescues. Apart from a fanciful invention called a gravity mesh, which allows some characters to fly, Newt's, who is also an award-winning writer of nonfiction, grounded this story in science. This book is about how culture develops on this planet, and the further readers get into the story, the more they'll understand about how their culture started back on Earth. From publisher Tor Books. The Terraformers is an equally heartwarming and thought-provoking vision of the future for fans of Becky Chambers' The Long Way to a Small Angry Planet, and for fans of All Systems Red by Martha Wells. And, in case you missed it, This bilingual edition of A Study in Ugliness and Otras Historias by H. Puyo offers the different versions of the text side by side. This debut collection offers her stories in both English and Portuguese to celebrate the author's heritage. This offers the reader a very rich opportunity to gain some insight into just how similar and different the same story feels in each language. Ghosts and weird mourners, horrible teenagers and disgraceful instructors inhabit this flowing novel, haunted prisoners and sea folk taken from the shore. Be prepared. There are stories in which a butch girl discovers a topsy-turvy, uglier parallel reality in a Vargas-era Catholic school, and the fear of past in an open coffin, where a woman is hired as the caretaker of an embalmed corpse that might as well represent the military dictatorship itself. Pueyo's evocative writing takes notice that the dead, like memories, are often closer than we think, and the guilty are often ignorant of the damage done and astonished when they themselves suffer. From publisher Lethe Press. Continue exploring the absurd with Kate Folk's collection Out There. And if your New Year's resolution was to learn a language, why not start with Portuguese in 3 Months, your essential guide to understanding and speaking Portuguese by Maria Fernanda Allen. That's all for this month. Thank you for tuning in to Denver Public Library's Friday 5 at 5. We hope you enjoy these great reads and listens. Check out or place a hold on these titles and a whole lot more right now at denverlibrary.org, link below. And tune in next month for a new batch of recommended reads. Bye!